following episode is a work of fictional horror and may contain numerous horror elements, such as mentions of significant bodily harm, death, gore, sudden loud noises, and otherworldly beings and powers. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's all redacted. It's all redacted. Like, there isn't even a record. There is literally nothing in here.
Hold on, what do you mean nothing? Redaction procedures are designed specifically to protect your identity, especially from the researchers who you might be working with. But once we know that it's your file, a lot of your experiences and early history should be present. We keep this as useful data.
Look. Nothing about my life before I got here. It's all just since here. Just the D-class stuff and nothing about me.
Tess.
If I wanted my file, why would I want a version covered in black bars that hides everything I'm trying to find out? This is absolutely useless. I'm in no better of a position since I read it than before.
Look, there is probably an unredacted version somewhere or some history prior to the Foundation dossier for you. D-Class Intake Command should have something if their databases weren't wiped, though they don't usually provide me with access since I do handle day-to-day operations, but we can keep searching and trying to find it.
This is bullshit. But fine. We'll keep searching.
So, welcome back to the XK. My name is Dr. Robin, for those of you who don't know that already, and I'm here to bring you the tools that you need to survive the end of the world. So, last week, we talked about the fated Serpent's Hand, a mysterious pro-anomalous organization that seeks nothing more than to destroy the containment that we worked so hard for. But as a GOI, they are by far extremely dangerous, if less aggressive than some of the other GOIs we've started. But Agent Sera, you were exploring them last week, right? And you came back quite late after the report. You've also been kind of quiet about that too. What happened? Also, why is there a bird here?
Well, I kind of feel responsible for him now. Plus, he's such a cute little robin. He showed me the way home, through the maze of wherever I was back there.
Okay, well, that makes sense, I guess. Anyways, go get prepared. Your segment starts in 5 minutes. So, back to the Serpent's Hand. There's still the question of whether they could cause the end of the world that we covered last week, and that is less well known. Their history towards breaking into Foundation sites and releasing SCPs that have a track record of less than safe activity, and their distaste for any form of control over the anomalous means that any one action gone wrong could easily end the world. That being said, that is different from necessarily wanting to destroy the world. There is a good chance that they're still active, but as of now, there is more for us to cover. So today, let us talk about the historical company who would never die, Prometheus Labs. Unlike other GOIs, Prometheus Labs isn't, or really wasn't, a single group that sought to take specific anomalous action against the Foundation or the world as a whole. They were, or are, simply an anomalous item manufacturer, and they sought or seek to make profit from it. This makes them unique in their danger and in their style of operations. Here, let's read from their own pamphlet.
Prometheus was no god. That's something that many people forget or do not understand. He was neither a god nor a man, but made of much older stuff. He was a titan. When Gaia and Uranus mated, they made many children. The Hecatoncheires, the Cyclopses, and a dozen other monsters that roamed the earth. Each one Uranus imprisoned back inside Gaia. All of them, until she bore the Titans, whom he was pleased to look upon. Mind you, his son Saturn later castrated him and usurped him at Gaia's urging, but this was the way of things for the Greeks. When Zeus later rose up against the Titans in their cruel reign, only a handful of the Titans fought with the gods, Themis and Prometheus. The gods were later successful. It would be foolish to claim that Prometheus was the sole originator of the victory, and I will not do so, though many of the ancient authors did. Prometheus fought, after all, for selfish reasons. Men. Prometheus granted writing, science, farming, medicine, and math to the humans, his children. The gods granted suffering and demanded sacrifices. When did Prometheus ever ask for a burnt carcass in his honor? Men were one of his creations, you see. He wanted to keep them safe and strong and viable. He wanted them to be blessed by the gods and looked after. Zeus was angered when he stole fire and had him chained to a rock to have his liver eaten by an eagle each day. Just as Prometheus stole fire from the gods, so too do we wrest the secrets from the universe daily. How mystical and magical must fire have been at one time? How dangerous and unbelievable. Could you imagine if the only source for something, the only thing you could relate to, was a star? How unbelievable it must have been to the ancient Greeks, and now, a trivial thing once deified. Such is the way of all great magics, such is the way of all great works, such is the way of all unknown things. With study and intuition, the mystical becomes common, and no sacrifices are needed and no blood is given. The doors of the universe are open ever further. Let us step through.
Now, you might notice that I've been constantly switching between present and past tense when referring to them, and there is actually a reason for that. See, originally, Prometheus Labs was a for-profit conglomerate based around scientific research and development. They were founded in 1892, if that means anything to you. There's a lot of history about them that honestly isn't going to change anything for you today, so skipping through it quite quickly, Prometheus Labs publicly made electronic, medical, pharmaceutical, automotive, optical, and industrial goods. Notably, however, they did this all with anomalous materials, technologies, and knowledge. In general, Prometheus Labs worked with nearly every GOI that you could know of, and then so many more. They sold material to both the GOC and the Chaos Insurgency. They waged industrial espionage against GRU Division P, and they often worked next to the Foundation, neither as an ally nor an enemy, but simply seeing it as a customer. Following, they were mostly seized by the Foundation, in part due to their public danger and a risk of a global breach of the Veil of Secrecy. Prior to this, while their products were anomalous, they weren't necessarily dangerous, and they often worked with the Foundation to ensure that it wasn't technically a breach of containment for these products to be on the market. That being said, they saw a sharp decline after the 7th Occult War, which happened the same time as World War II for those who aren't aware, and they would resurge with the demand for anomalous weaponry during the Cold War. Once the Cold War ended and was covered up, they would be broken up and dissolved by the Foundation. With this all being said, though, given their connections and power, or at least the connections and power they once had, there's more than enough reason to believe that they still may exist. New Prometheus Labs tools and equipment appear semi-regularly, often under some shell name that is more than easy enough to figure out. There's also rumors that they had an automated base on Mars, and one in the Marianas Trench. So today, they're going to be our topic of study. In short, Prometheus Labs is weird in its danger. As non-anomalous companies would destroy the climate for personal gain, the labs themselves could destroy the world for theirs. But we'll get into that when my turn comes around. For now, let's go to Sera with the field report.
when there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. I'd say this post-XK climate sure feels like hell is overflowing into us. And who better to have had a hand in causing all of this than Prometheus Labs, a dead, ambivalent corporation? In the business world, either you kill or you die, or you die and you kill. And I think that even though the official story is that Prometheus Labs died off as a corporation, there could still be a few corporate zombies lurking around, looking for an opportunity for the corporation to rise from their capitalist graves, such as selling technologically advanced weapons to help folks survive in a post-XK world. And where better to start looking for a dead company that used to sell advanced technology than a dying company that used to sell advanced technology? That's why, today, I'm starting my search in Bend, Oregon, at Dock Duster.
Hello, and welcome to Dock Duster, where we've got all your technological needs. Everything from, docks to dusters. How can we help you today?
Hi there, I think I'm good on the dusters front.
Are you sure? We have a special on today where if you buy a duster, we'll throw in a free specially made duster for your docks.
Thanks, but that's not really what I'm looking for. I heard that this might be the spot to find some more illuminating technology.
Illuminate.
You know, something like groundbreakingly bright?
Oh, bright. Well, we have a lot of overstock of these spooky light bulb things. They're called ghost lights. I think they're on sale right now because a bunch of them got recalled. Something about a mysterious goo leaking out of the bulbs. Oh shit. Steve said I wasn't supposed to talk about that.
No, sorry, that's not what I really meant by bright. Do you guys have anything that is, like, amplifying the standards of technology?
Amp? Well, this is like a dock duster. Of course we got amps. Right over here we got like 5 different types. This guy is my favorite. The Gauchito 78. It's just so fun to say. Gauchito. It has a wicked connectivity system to other speakers, so it would work well as part of a system. And you want to know my favorite bit?
Sure?
So, the boss said I'm supposed to keep this plugged in at all times to conserve connectivity or something. But I think it's kind of wasteful, so sometimes I secretly unplug the thing when I'm leaving work so they won't know it's me. And get this, when you unplug it, the thing starts broadcasting like random stations. It's like a cool bonus playlist made just for you, and it doesn't even use up any power. You should totally get this guy.
That's kind of odd.
Yeah, Dock Duster can get some kind of freaky stuff sometimes.
Freaky? What do you mean by that? Like, what's the freakiest thing you folks have in here?
All the staff here actually have a competition to see who can find the freakiest product for the week. Overall, I think that pile of raw meat taking up like half of the fridge in the staff room is the freakiest, but in terms of products, the current winner is the science kit thing we got in recently. It's like a whole bunch of plastic models of different human organs. They're like creepy detailed, and they come in this sketchy box that had a bunch of warnings on not to touch them. Hey, you want to touch them?
Absolutely not. Look, do you guys sell advanced guns here or not?
Advanced guns. Well, Steve has been hitting the gym a lot more lately. I'd say his guns are getting pretty advanced, if you know what I mean.
Okay, I think my theory here was wrong. Well, do you by any chance know anywhere nearby that I could find something like a M1903A4 Springfield rifle with near statistical impossibility of missing?
Well, that's definitely not a duster. M1903, that's a lot of technical jargon. We've actually got this cool thing in the back with a bunch of technological jargon on it. Like, come on, follow me.
Wait.
Alright, here we go. VRZPRTTYP 4512. Right. The Doc Duster Virtual Reality Sphere.
Virtual reality?
It says here, while the DDVRS may just look like a big steel sphere, once you put on this elastane and neoprene suit, the sphere reads your mind to make a perfect version of your perceived reality, interior motives, goals, and desires. Doc Duster is more than happy to give you a free demo. Just so you know, demos are limited to only a 3-minute period, but you can purchase a Doc Duster Plus membership or simply buy the device itself to get unlimited time.
I don't know.
I mean, the Steve offer's still on the table. I can call him up. We can even all go to the gym together or something if you're free after.
You know what? I've always wanted to try VR. Let's do that.
Cool. Just put on the suit and step inside.
Welcome to the VRZ-PRT-TYP 4512 Virtual Reality Sphere. Now generating a customized personal virtual reality experience. This process is super accurate and may take some time. Please hold still. Cognitive processes analyzed. Please select the most desired scenario. Site NULL 668 ways to use clef's knives. Site 42 Street Shark Puncher. Site 56 D-Class Destruction. Site 230, Doctor Dating Simulator. Site 2000, Escape Rooms.
Oh, frick no. I am not going back to Site 2000. I would rather die. Wait, did it say a Site 230 dating simulator? Just how does this thing work?
You selected a Site 230 dating simulator. Now loading. Please wait.
No, wait! Where am I? Is this Dr. Robin's office? Wait, no, the bookcase is supposed to be over there. Is this a secret office? Okay, there's no way I should be...
Sera, is that you? Just the lady I've been waiting for. Come on in.
Oh, frick no, what did I do? Well, this is a simulation, so I guess... Whoa, that's so cool! Is that an award wall?
What a sharp eye you have. One of the many reasons we brought you on the team. Many of them were from my anomalous school days. Then for my research in Exclusionary Site-01. And finally, when I was studying the broad Keter class SCPs as a level 4 researcher. They eventually stopped giving you awards when you're the one who signs them. Say, would you care for some coffee? I know you like your cold brews.
Yes, please. Thank you, sir.
Please, drop the formalities. Call me Robin. Alright, here we go. Just gotta tap the glass, and... Ooh.
Wow, did you just create that out of thin air? How did you do that?
Well, I noticed you have a love for anomalous objects. So, I thought I would study them as well. You can do a lot with a magical beagle mug. Come here, have a taste.
Wow, that's perfect.
It's just like your profile said. Arabica bean cold brew, a little milk, a little sugar, some extra ice, and a dash of cinnamon. I read your profile very thoroughly. There's a lot to admire.
Wait, there is?
You know, I hired you for a reason. Either way, time to get to business. As you know, I have been handling the XK for a while, and we've done very well thanks to your investigations. You've kept us informed and prepared for every threat. In truth, I think you may be the best field agent to ever go through Site-230. You're capable under pressure, you know about more SCPs than anyone else who's been here, and I never once doubted you on a mission.
Oh, thank you so much.
With such a talented field agent like you on our team, it may be time for me to finally take a vacation. But I need a replacement. Thus, I would like to formally offer you a promotion to the role of director of Site-230.
What?
Picking a successor is hard, but I'm confident you have what it takes. Before I go, though, we should celebrate. It's not every day that you become a director. What do you say, a little beach trip together? I was thinking, Greece? Just the two of us. We could get cozy on the beach.
No, wait, this is wrong. This isn't how this is supposed to.
What do you mean, Sera, darling? Isn't this what you've always wanted?
Simulation time limit exceeded. Please exit the virtual reality sphere. Thank you for your interest in the Doc Duster virtual reality experience. If you would like to have more similar experiences, please consider the Doc Duster membership. Now 20% off all purpose.
No, wait, what? What was that? What just happened?
Alright, that's it. So, you buying it? And you get 20% off if you sign up for a Doc Duster Plus membership. Please, I really need to get my numbers up, or they're gonna send me back to the warehouse.
I don't think so. I'm so sorry, but I think I should be going.
We have a deal on right now. Oh, hey, look, speak of the devil, there's Steve. Well, hello, Steph. Got any memberships this hour? Actually, I was just chatting with this dude bra here about the benefits.
Now hold on a second. Wait, are you guys twins?
What do you mean? My guns are far too superior to ever be compared to little Steph there. See, I told you, guns. That guy's just a lonely clone of my perfect form.
Wait, so are you guys not twins then? Because you really look alike.
Well, of course, like I just said, Steph's my clone, and a lousy one at that. But what can you do? The machine is still a work in progress.
You have a cloning machine? When I asked you to see some cool tech, why didn't you show me that?
Normally, it's just for Prometheus members, but if you sign up for a DD Plus membership right now, I can probably make an exception. They say this puppy is the next SCP-2000. The 2000 Mark II, if you will. So are you in?
I'm sorry, what? SCP-2000? Absolutely not! And did you just say Prometheus members?
Hello and welcome to Doc Duster, where we've got all your technological needs. Everything from... Shit. Steve, look. It's the gnome guy again. We gotta stop him before he gets us with the gun again and takes off with our product. This land is no longer yours, gnomes. Steph, release the MBEF.
What the frick? Is that a knight with a flaming sword? Why do you have that behind your cash desk?
We're at war. Shoplifting war.
Isn't this a bit extreme? That's just a guy in a pointy hat over there looking at the organ models. Holy frick! Is the gnome guy holding a beating heart? And where did their left hand go?
Huh. So that's what happens when you touch that. Neat.
And what's that in their other hand? Is that a gun? Look out!
Not just any gun, that's our product. The bastard took it last week, and we tolerate absolutely no shoplifting at Doc Duster, goblins or not. I'm going in. The MBREF's gonna need reinforcements. Steph, take the lady in back with the 2000 Mark II.
SCP-2000? Flaming swords. I can't do this. I can't be here right now. Again. Dead. Everything. Everyone is gonna be dead again. I need to not be here. I need to go home.
Whoa, Agent Sera, where did you come from? I didn't see your teleporter reading go off. It still hasn't. Is everything all right?
Am I safe? Am I home?
Of course you're safe. You're back at Site 230. But, would you mind getting out of my private office?
Oh, frick! Okay. Yep. My segment. Luckily, I've mostly calmed down since we started the episode. Since I realized we kind of started recording while I was yelling. So let's get to the questions. Wait. Magic is real. Is it possible to be a wizard? Will this solve our problems for us? Can we use it to Okay, this is going on for like 3 pages. No. Moving on. This magic stuff is so cool. Did the colleges still function? Can I enroll? This is like my favorite book. Okay, no, I'm just gonna stop reading this here. Don't. It's way more dangerous than you think it is. Okay. How do I learn about magic? Can I learn fire spells? Maybe create cheese. Can I summon weapons? No. No. That is so dangerous. That can go wrong in so many ways. Do not do this. It seems like as well someone just sent in a copy of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it looks like there's annotations on every single page. Can I just say this is entirely the wrong genre? Like, can you even read? Like, what it... Can you teach magic on the air? Okay. No. And I am only going to say this now once. Based on what I understood, I am what they are kind of trying to create. And these are anomalies, not fairy tale magic. You are not a grand wizard who will save the world. These things can and will kill you in an instant for a single mistake. I was introduced to an anomaly, and now I am anomalous. And it's not fun. It's not some great big adventure. And you have to think about what you're giving up. I can't die. And sure, to most people, that seems fine and fucking dandy. But it's not. I'm losing out on so much, and just think about it for 5 seconds before committing yourself to a life of whatever this is. I'm not gonna answer any more of the questions on magic. Those are going in their own special throwaway pile. Okay, great. My house is suddenly full of an absolute mass of rubber ducks. Nice. No. That's great. That boosted my mood. Don't worry. Those are just weird ducks that like to appear, except for the one with the saxophone. You know, it will just murder you in your sleep. I'm kidding. No, it just annoys you with these weird offbeat notes when you aren't looking. I promise. That's the one that's real. It's not gonna murder you. Next question. So my town has this really old theater, and they have these old floodlights that keep playing the same scene on a loop. I've never stayed around to watch the whole scene, but they display a shadow girl in weird poses before she gets murdered by horned men. I've cut the power and they're still going. What do I do? Oh, I would suggest staying away from that one as what you should be doing. Because once the scene ends, if you're still in that room, they will beat you to death, and it will hurt. Yeah, don't stick around for that one. This one's a weird one. It's this, like... Okay, so I keep forgetting that you guys can't see what I see. I have now in front of me a pink envelope with a seal on it, which is like, it's red wax, and it looks like it's in the shape of a flower. And I open it. There's a card. You're hereby invited to Parker's Grand Ball, hosted by the Celebration Initiative. 1 week from when you read this. Be there. Parker? Did they just forget to add the B square part, or... Okay, actually, this seems like another one of those really cruel jokes. So... No. I said it last time. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not dealing with random people sending me in random stuff that is just weird, and... Yeah, my segment's done. Let's get back to Robin.
Hey, Dr. Robin. Sorry about that earlier. I didn't mean to intrude. So, anyway, did you find anything interesting on Prometheus Labs yet?
Huh? Oh, yeah, I have a little...
Oh! So you can find files on extinct pre-modern industries, but you can't find a single file that's not completely redacted for your goddamn co-host.
Look, Sera gave me a week to prepare this. You asked me about 20 minutes ago. I'll search, but it takes some time. Anyway, so Prometheus Labs, right? I've already told you most of the important history. A big anomalous conglomerate that had its hands in everything, with connections to every single anomalous group that you can imagine. They rode the capitalist wave, but their risks turned into disasters, they declined post-Cold War, and they were later dissolved by the Foundation. That much you already know. You've also seen many of their products still floating around, especially with Sera's segment today. So, instead, it may be more useful to explore a concrete example of what their products and research operations were really capable of, and may still be doing to this day. So, I'll be presenting to you two main files. We're going to begin with a product file, let's call it SCP-2630. As expected, the item number is SCP-2630. Its object class is Euclid. Special containment procedures. SCP-2630 is currently contained in a vacuum-sealed chamber in Site-43's Euclid wing. Following Instant 219 Keynes, testing on SCP-2630 has been forbidden by Overseer Order. SCP-2630 should never come into contact with animal products or live animals at any time. Daily backups are to be made of SCP-2630's configuration. If any statistically anomalous stock market changes occur, SCP-2630 should be inspected for changes and its configuration reset. Description: SCP-2630 is the designation for a computing complex built by Prometheus Para-Economics in 1968 known as NOTUS, meaning Necromantic Ontologically and Atomically Unified Supercomputer. SCP-2630 occupies an area of approximately 3.5 by 5 by 3 meters in width, length, height, respectively, and weighs about 370 kilograms. Prior to its acquisition in 2005 by the Foundation, Prometheus Para-Economics used it to forecast changes to the stock market using its anomalous properties. SCP-2630 consists of 3 main components: 15 mechanical arms, a console controlling these arms and displaying readings from the third main component, namely 18 sets of intestines. 15 of these intestines are bovine rumens, while the rest are human large intestines. The bovine intestines are suspended by the mechanical arms, while the human large intestines appear to be interlaced into a rough framework around the rumens. These intestines do not appear to decay. Foundation economists have shown that the state of the bovine rumens encodes the price of 15 S&P 500 stocks approximately 19 hours in the future, with each rumen corresponding to a different stock. The current working theory is that the knots in the rumens correspond to the price of these stocks. For more information, see supplementary document SCP-2630-03A. It is not currently known if the human intestines represent any meaningful information. The mechanical arms update this information every 5 minutes. Due to the regular manipulation of these intestines, it is currently believed that they possess anomalously high levels of tensile strength. The amount of force required to actually manipulate the entrails is grossly more than would be expected, meaning that any attempt to manipulate the configuration of the intestines typically requires the use of the mechanical arms, which are capable of exerting a directed force of 9.3 meganewtons. The complex does not appear to possess any power source. With the aid of documentation from the original inventors of SCP-2630, a rudimentary program was developed to test if a manipulation in the configuration of the intestines would result in a change to the stock price. This test was carried out successfully, demonstrating that the correlation between SCP-2630 and the state of each stock's price is two-way. Further information on the test and its results are contained in Print Archive Article 2011, March 11, 108. So that should give a little taste of the things that Prometheus Labs was able to create. In this case, a massive complex of intestines that can control 15 of the biggest stocks on the S&P 500. And this is only one of many things. You've seen many others today. But where this file describes what they could create, it doesn't present just how widespread and even dangerous they were for the world at large. So, to ensure this understanding, I present to you Operation Lelwyn Dark. Now, to give an overview, Operation Lelwyn Dark is not written like our usual SCP files, so please bear with me as we go through this differently formatted document. Overview of Operation Lelwyn Dark. On July 19, 1981, Prometheus Astrotechnology's first in-house Chaos Switchboard Communicator satellite, the PSAT Satanta, went rogue due to an unforeseen malfunction in its demonic circuitry. The satellite had been functional for over 9 years at the time of the incident, and it was estimated that it would continue to operate for at least another 10 years without further interference. Following a collision with a meteoroid, the demonic circuitry the satellite used was heavily damaged, resulting in the discharge of several demons and the subsequent malfunction of the Satanta. While an initial repair team was promptly dispatched, several members of the team were possessed by the free demons, who then proceeded to further complicate the situation by introducing a large amount of free thermic energy, rendering the satellite effectively irreparable. Operation Lelwyn Dark is the designation for the attempts to contain the fallout that resulted from the meltdown of the Satanta and the ongoing attempts to maintain Chaos safety when used in paratechnology. Next is an overview of Chaos. So what is Chaos? It has many pronunciations, but Chaos is a general term for a set of procedures that, when completed successfully, makes the parties subject to the Chaos unable or significantly less able to willfully disobey the restrictions placed on them. While Irish lore describes Chaos as no more than a taboo, modern forms of Chaos render the subject completely obedient to these restrictions, thanks to the advances in memetic engineering and quantum physics. Chaos typically consists of 3 parts: a contract, a memetic carrier, and a probability field. The contract itself specifies the conditions of the Chaos, while the memetic agent is used to carry the probability field and bind the subject to the Chaos once the contract is signed or otherwise agreed to by the subject. The probability field effectively warps the state of the subject's consciousness, such that it becomes more and more difficult to perform actions which would contravene the restrictions of the chaos. These bindings may be removed by eliminating the memetic carrier from the subject's mind, which may be done by the contract itself, usually after a set restriction has been fulfilled, or by collapsing the probability field through the unwillful breach of these terms and conditions. See the section on Cuckoo Lane syndrome below. History of Chaos Technology. Memetics and Chaos. During the burgeoning years of paratechnology research, the investigation of folklore and legends for their basis in reality was a common practice, resulting in the discovery of demonics, petrification, and skinwalking technology. As such, the iron-based Langford Memetics team began investigating the phenomenon of chaos and how such a binding agreement was created, if not discovering the basis behind the myth, then finding out how to replicate it. Several investigations of the chaos phenomenon were conducted throughout Ireland, with the most notable and productive being the Gaif expedition in 1929. From the binding materials recovered from the expedition, Robert Langford successfully managed to reverse engineer the memetic agents used in these materials and published his seminal paper, Chaos as Eigentechnology, Memetic Composition of Chaos Binders, a year later. Binder generation. In 1932, Ava Berryman successfully generalized Langford's findings to encompass a larger set of memetic agents and used her previously developed Berryman memetic composition method to develop a method to create custom chaos binding agents. Realizing the potential use and commercial opportunities for the creation of these memetic agents, Berryman took out a patent on a set of curve sketching tools which could be used to compose an overall binding agent. These Bezier-Berryman curve sketching sets are still sold and owned by old hands in the memetics business and collectors worldwide. However, with the Occult Warfare Act of 1939 and the start of the Seventh Occult War, both Langford and Berryman were instructed to develop chaos bindings which could bind a human mind to an abstract concept. With their successful development of the first mind abstract binding agent in 1940, British conscription documents from that year onwards featured this agent, effectively binding conscripted occult agents to the British government and killing any potentially traitorous members of the department. The use of these Berryman-Langford agents in hiring documents became a widespread practice following the end of the Seventh Occult War and the declassification of the research. Normalcy preservation agencies such as the Global Occult Coalition, MI666, and the Unusual Incidents Unit continue to use these agents to this day. The Foundation, however, has partially relaxed their stance on this topic due to the interaction between memetics agents and complex chaos. Chaoses are also widely employed to hide the use of other chaos in order to maintain the integrity of the Veil Protocol. Cuckoo Lane Syndrome. The following is an excerpt from Cuckoo Lane Syndrome, the collapse of the probability field and its effect on human health.
The probability field associated with these memetic agents restricts the typical phase space associated with thought processes. It is believed that when the chaos is broken in a way which does not involve the removal of the memetic agent, and thus the probability field, the uncontrolled release of the cognitive phase space results in uncontrollable neural activity. This rapid and erratic neural activity often causes a grand mal seizure in the subject, followed by the possible total collapse of the lungs and cardiac arrhythmia as the memory purges the memetic agent, which interferes with unconscious nervous activity.
Prometheus Laboratories' early adoption of contractual chaos and memetic technologies in general allowed them to observe the first recorded case of Cuckoo Lane Syndrome in 1965. To this day, Cuckoo Lane Syndrome remains one of the most hazardous obstacles to the safe implementation of contractual chaos. The condition, which would come to be known as Cuckoo Lane Syndrome, was initially observed in a Prometheus maintenance worker named Kieran Carson. Colleagues reported that he was unable to do his job without suffering seizures and muscle spasms. Investigations showed that he was, in fact, infected with a memetic agent that he had unintentionally been exposed to during his time working for Prometheus. The memetic infection forced him to unintentionally break his chaos by contravening a clause in his employment contract. Using anti-memetic treatments pioneered by Iyer and Vidya Sagar, the memetic infection was removed, followed shortly thereafter by the chaos carrier. In order to treat the after effects of the syndrome, another Chaos was placed on Carson, which prevented these spasms from occurring by making these random neural misfirings impossible for him to perform. The Kaliningrad Chaos Standard. Following the discovery of Cuckoo Lane syndrome, in order to ease the treatment of these cases, representatives of various occult organizations, including the Foundation, the Global Occult Coalition, and Prometheus Labs, gathered in Kaliningrad to discuss this matter. It was decided that an international standard for Chaos should be created, encompassing the memetic carriers and probability fields used in the creation of Chaos. The agreement resulted in the Kaliningrad Chaos Standard, an international specification for Chaos technology used in various applications. This specification details the types of memetic carriers and probability fields that are acceptable for use, within a special focus on contractual Chaos. The majority of normalcy preservation organizations have adopted this standard for the purposes of easing Cuckoo Lane syndrome treatment. However, it is not uncommon to see non-standard Chaos being employed in regions without access to the technology required to fabricate the memetic agents specified. The fall of Setanta. The most crushing blow to Chaos technology, and the reason for its infrequent usage today, was the Setanta incident. In 1968, the proposal for a Chaos-based medical alert system was initially submitted, involving a central hub satellite managing the creation and updating of these Chaoses. It was hoped that this system would increase the survivability of medical conditions such as strokes by ensuring rapid response and also increasing the life expectancy for patients with debilitating illnesses. The Setanta was launched on May 5, 1972, and successfully managed the system for 9 years. On July 19th, a meteoroid collided with the Setanta. The meteoroid's high velocity resulted in it disabling the radio communications array of the satellite and the disruption of the demonics technology used in the Setanta. The damage and defacement of these demonic components resulted in at least 30 demons being discharged into the rest of the electric components, further damaging the satellite and making repair operations difficult due to the inadvertent demonic possession of the majority of the repair crew that was dispatched. In a last resort effort to recover the Setanta, Prometheus handed over custody of the satellite to the Foundation, who, in cooperation with the Horizon Initiative and specialists from Prometheus, managed to dispatch the majority of the demons, although they did not successfully repair the satellite's facilities. The satellite is still under containment by the Foundation as SCP. As a result of the malfunction of the Setanta, over 790 patients signed up to the services provided by the Setanta acquired Cuckoo Lane syndrome due to the malformed nature of the Chaos being handled by the satellite. The catastrophic loss of reputation that Prometheus Astro Technologies incurred meant that several other projects were abandoned due to similar fears. Finally, the after-action report, Operation Laplacian Midnight. This was originally written by Intelligence Advisor MTF-Mu-0, Maxwell Demons, and it was sent to the Operations Director and O5 Command. Date: 05-07-82. Maintenance location: PSAT Setanta. Maintenance performed: replacement of malfunctioning demonic circuitry and lambda wave array, and expulsion of demonic entities. Equipment allocation. In addition to the tools required for the repair of the demonic circuitry and lambda wave array, the maintenance team were issued with the following products for the purposes of self-defense against possible free demons. 1. Eidolon, or Electronic Demonic Interference Device. The Eidolon is designed to disrupt the manifestation of a demon by interfering with the interaction of the demon particle with photons, preventing the demons in the area of effect from manipulating electromagnetic forces. 2. Gel-Man Delta Metal Embroidered Suit, 1 per person. Initially produced for the Exorcist Task Force, the Gel-Man suit contains several warding seals derived from the Vedist occult symbology embroidered into the suit using Delta Metal thread. This creates a full-body warding protection without the need for subcutaneous implantation. 3. Ortiz-Hannigan Chaos Operation Device, to be used as a last resort should any of the team members succumb to demonic possession. The application of the Chaos through proprietary micromimetic agents projected by the device's lens should be sufficient to at least immobilize a possessed member, if not prevent the demon from acting. Results of maintenance. Maintenance failed to restore the satellite's functionality, but prevented the continual malfunction of the satellite. The residual demonic manifestations were eliminated, making it possible for a second maintenance operation to be performed with the aim of restoring the satellite. Maintenance Report. See the attached file.
Upon closer inspection of the problem, it became clear that the most advisable course of action was to eliminate the possible threat of demonic interference prior to beginning the actual maintenance work. Following the successful docking of the Concunt with the Santanta, Green deployed the Eldolon so as to ensure the demons would not attempt to interfere with the Concunt's circuitry. Due to the large quality of demons discharged, the Eldolon's power source began to run down within minutes. Jagannath, the Foundation's demonic specialist, suggested a more permanent warding mechanism that could be created by docking the port, so that the Eldolon's charge could be conserved for the bulk of the maintenance work. After retrieving his field study kit, he successfully erected Type 4 ward, preventing the Concut from being demonically influenced. Dunbar and Kamiga then left the Connect and the Eldolon field of influence in order to test the functionality of the gel man suits. The wards held despite the continued attack. Green then followed them with the Eldolon, now deactivated to conserve power. Jagannath similarly followed Dunbar and Kamiga, while Kowalski stayed behind to monitor the status of the board. Kamiga was the first to encounter the corpse of Nielsen, a member of the previously dispatched maintenance crew, and initially thought he had been reanimated. However, due to the demon's relative inability to control the motor functions of the corpse, its movements were unnatural enough for Kamiga to recognize its possession. After restraining the corpse using an improvised set of handcuffs, Kamiga navigated to the Lambda array and began to work. It was later found that a fault in the anti-demonic casing of the replacement parts had led to the successful demonic infiltration of the parts. As soon as the Lambda wave array was outside of the Eldolon area of effect, the array promptly malfunctioned and overloaded, releasing a final high-power burst of Lambda waves prior to the destruction of the array. After Kamiga realized that the rest of the parts would be similarly compromised, he abandoned his work and instructed the crew to begin repairing the satellite's demonic circuitry. Continued work was halted following the breakdown of Dunbar's Gelman suit due to the abnormally high demonic presence in the area. Green instructed Kamiga to run the Eldolon not off battery power, but rather the on-board theometric generators. The modification was successfully performed, and Jagannath attempted to perform a field exorcism on Dunbar, while Green began several banishments working to dispel the remaining demons. Green's banishment ritual succeeded, although Jagannath's exorcism was interrupted by the opening of a microscopic Territorian pinhole. This resulted in the spontaneous combustion of several panels and the replacement of approximately 20% of the oxygen on board with sulfur dioxide. In an attempt to prevent further phenomena from occurring, Kamiga and Green cooperated to destroy the demonic circuit sustaining the pinhole. Finally, Kamiga and Green returned to the Conca with Dunbar immobilized, before they undocked and began the process of re-entry.
Cost of maintenance. Estimated at roughly $20 million, including the cost of the exorcism after landing. Payment details. The Foundation has paid $3 million of this cost, with the majority of their share being waived due to their supply of personnel for the maintenance effort. The Horizon Initiative share of the payment is yet to be acquired. Signed by Scott Landing, CEO of Prometheus Technologies. And that's everything we have for our deep dive on the mysterious, capitalistic, supposedly dead Prometheus Labs. As you can see, as far as technological developments go, they really were quite something. They made electronics with demons, light bulbs with ghosts, a stock market manipulator with bull intestines, cloning machines, brain-controlling contracts, and quite a lot more. They worked with nearly every anomalous organization we know of, made public products in nearly every industry, and honestly only declined due to their own errors and the later Foundation seizure. Anything you would add, Agent Sera?
Yeah, apparently they also make some seriously freaky virtual reality machines.
Hey, you still haven't actually told me what happened in there. Could you?
No, thank you, sir.
All right. Well, as long as your vitals are good. Either way, this leaves us to our remaining question. Could Prometheus Labs have caused the end of the world? Well, in reality, the answer is yes and no at the same time. Like with most of our GOIs, they could have easily done it. But in this case, it all hinges on them still existing, and if those people that we saw today are really them or just some pretenders. Regardless, it would be much more likely that someone using their tools, whether actually associated with Prometheus Labs or not, could destroy the world. And I have little doubt that some of their tools were involved. It'd be hard to imagine they weren't, but there's no good way to tell which or why or even how. Though this does give us some space to discuss anomalous items and weaponry. Opinion, Sera?
I agree. They do have a lot of stuff out there that could cause problems, especially if someone was to stumble upon them. There are obviously still organized bodies that use their supplies, like Doc Duster. But if Prometheus Labs is really organizing out there, they don't seem that sophisticated. I think honestly, for folks to survive, just avoid anomalous items. They're unpredictable and extremely dangerous, both physically and mentally.
Agreed. So, really, I think there's only one GOI left to study. I've been avoiding this one, to be quite honest, as I worry about the implications that it brings. But with the other options exhausted, it really seems to be the only one remaining. So, next week, we will be tackling one of the oldest enemies of the Foundation, the Chaos Insurgency. As always, for those of you out there, stay safe, stay hidden, and stay alive. We'll see you next week. And as we close, I would like to give a special thank you to those in real life who made this episode possible. First, I would like to thank Kevin MacLeod, who made the background music you could hear in this episode. You can listen to his music and more at incomptech.com. Next, I would like to thank the voice actors that you heard in this episode, including Echo, who was the Prometheus Labs representative near the beginning of the episode, Peach, who did the voices for the Lelwyn Dark file, Emily, who was the computer, and John, who was the Doc Duster employee. As well, I would like to thank the various SCP authors whose work were included in this video, including Taffeta, who made SCP-2630, Stock of a Sort, and Operation Lelwyn Dark, Green Wolf, who did SCP-2176 Ghostlight, TM, AJMansfield, who made SCP-2167, the Demon Gate Amplifier, Anorak, who made SCP-7890, MTF Soul Snafu, Zachariah H., who made SCP-2209, Virtual Reality, Mara Rob, who made SCP-7467, The Green and the Mighty, Arkland, who made SCP-8016, Gods You Be, and Dr. Clef, SCP-668, the 13-inch Chef's Knife. As well, I would like to thank my two co-hosts who made this episode possible, including Taya, who played the role of Sera, and Kit, who played the role of Tess. We'll see you next time.